and he likes it and he found it as practical plan, he told all donors, I want your money within this plan. If you don't put it here, you're not going to work in Afghanistan. Simple. That means it's strategic to say how you want to use your money for the goals and priorities you have. Otherwise, the money will be just fluid, running from one island to another, from one point to another, but nobody is gaining. Or the added value is very little. This is where we talk about donors' money spent on skills development. Vocational training, general secondary education, basic life skills for youth and adults, education level, and specified for skills development. This is the amount of money and how it's spent. This is another details of the money spent, donors' money spent on skills development. Now we start to see areas where no money is spent on, and it's the most crucial areas. Early childhood and primary education. Higher education, other education levels unspecified, and then the rest. Youth and skills. I think we're coming to the core of the GMR now. One in 6 of the world's people is aged between 15 and 24 years old. Big number. 1 in 8 young people is unemployed. 1 in 4 young people is in a job being paid less than 1.25 cents per day. 1 in 5 young people in developing countries has not completed primary schools. Technical, vocational skills, transferable skills, foundation skills. See, there where the majority of the people that need skills at the bottom. There where the foundation skills are mostly needed, taking you up to the transferable skills all the way to technical vocational skills. Primary, lower secondary education gives you the foundation skills, vocational, technical, upper secondary, and then transferable skills. Now, when you look about financing education and spending education, now you would know where you should put your money. And now you would start to think where those graduates would go and what can they do. Is there a program in the Philippines for the second chance education? Equivalency education? Do you have? You have. Okay. 200 million young people need second chance. That means they are out of school or they have not entered school. That means you have to find a system where those kids can get back into school, but in a non-formal fashion. Doesn't need to be school, but it's comparable. Now, Now, of this region, one of the success stories is the Equivalency program of Indonesia, which is a second chance education. Now, they're very liberal in it. It's open for everybody, regardless of age. So a child, maybe a family would choose for their child an equivalency program rather than school. So it's open. So you can finish 6 years of primary school in 4 years, and then you need the 2 years for junior high school and 2 years for secondary. And then from there you can go to the national examination. If you pass with good grades, you can go to the university. And they have many examples of many number of kids or individuals who finish the equivalency program and have come to the university at different disciplines. So 200 million young people need second chance education. Now, this means a pressure on the government to provide institutions and to have the system that would provide the second chance education. Whether it is the space needed, or the teachers needed, or the materials need to be developed as textbooks. Because remember, doing 4 years of primary education of 6 years, that means different textbooks, as well as for the junior secondary and the senior secondary high school. Work-based training teaches transferable and technical vocational skills through direct work experience. This could be looked at as a sort of partnership between the public sector and the private sector when it comes to junior secondary high school, senior secondary high school, where kids can get trained in the workplace while they are in school or when they get out of school. This is probably more or less look like also the internship programs that are in place in many countries for high school students. I don't know how extensive the internship program in the Philippines for school kids. Strong? Very strong. So the kids can go to workplace and gain some experience. No? No. Okay.
Special program for employment.
Okay. Yeah. Now, in Indonesia, high school kids can go do internships in many places. It's open, it's required by the school system. So, some of them, if they are in vocational secondary high schools in the, for example, accounting and administration, they're doing their internships in the ministries. So they are assigned to different departments. If they are doing vocational school in hospitality and restaurant and hotel management, they are doing it in similar institutions or in restaurants. So the internship program can also expose students to different experiences to acquire the skills needed or the vocational skills. Now, of course, did I miss up something? Okay. Now, the partnerships between the private sector and the public sector is most crucial when the kids are in senior high school getting into the workplace. That's very important. So if you build up this strong partnership, then your kids will have their experience and building their technical vocational skills at the expense of the private sector, not at the expense of the public sector. So it's kind of arrangement of transferring the finances, or let others also pitch in for the expenses of schooling. Okay, here we are. We start to see how people move up the ladders in terms of acquiring skills. You may not be able to read the left listing of